I'm Beatrice Marshall in Nairobi. Welcome to Africa Live. Also ahead on the program, the European Union and Egypt sign agreement on aid, trade and migration with first ever EU-Egypt summit. And in sports, Moroccan playmaker Hakim Ziyech closes in on sensational move to Wydad Casablanca. We begin our bulletin in Sudan, where drone attacks have hit the army-held capital of Khartoum for a third consecutive day. One eyewitness said drones were heading towards military facilities, while another said he saw drones heading towards Khartoum International Airport. The airport had been scheduled to reopen Wednesday for domestic flights after 2 years of closure due to the ongoing conflict. A Badr Airlines flight landed at the airport according to an official statement, although it remains unclear whether the flight was commercial or carried any passengers. The same day, the army said its air defenses intercepted RSF drones at dawn. After the first airport attack, Army Chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan vowed to crush the rebellion, referring to the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces. RSF leader Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, in a speech posted online, he warned that any aircraft or a drone entering Sudanese airspace from neighboring countries would be considered a legitimate target. Let's now cross over to Momen Al-Maki in Port Sudan, live for us there. Momen, so what is the latest on those drone attacks in Khartoum?
Yes, for the third day in a row, the Rapid Support Forces has attacked Khartoum International Airport. Today's morning, loud explosions were here coming from Khartoum central areas due to the process of intercepting these drones. What we know right now is the RSF goal from these attacks was to stop the reopening of Khartoum International Airport and also to target the head of Subsidiarity Council and the chief of the Sudanese Army, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. He was inside the flight which landed in Khartoum 2 days ago, and he also took off yesterday at barely the same time of RSF targeting Khartoum International Airport. He took off towards Port Sudan International Airport.
And what can you tell us on the reopening of Khartoum Airport? Do we know whether it is a full resumption, how many flights daily, and from which areas in Sudan?
Until now, it hasn't been resumed fully. So far, all flights have been cancelled due to the latest attacks by RSF. The only flight that managed to reach Khartoum International Airport was a presidential flight carrying General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan along with a number of officials inside the Sudanese army. They arrived before yesterday, and General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan inspected Khartoum International Airport, and then it took off yesterday. But until today, all the flights has been cancelled. Today there was a scheduled flight by Badr Airlines. It was cancelled due to early morning attacks by RSF.
All right, Momen Al-Maki joining us there from Port Sudan. Thank you. Well, for more on the situation, CGTN spoke to the Darfur regional governor. In an exclusive interview, General Mini Arko Minawi, who is also the head of the Sudan Liberation Movement and ally of the Sudan Armed Forces, he started by giving his impressions of the humanitarian crisis in El Fasher city, which the RSF has had under siege for almost 18 months.
It is the result of the surrounding Al Fasher and putting in siege, under the siege by the RSF. And also it is a result of the silence of the international community while they are seeing what is going on against humanity in Al Fasher. Also, it is, unfortunately also I say that it is the result of, the respect, or at least I can say that the, endorsing, as if endorsing by international community that the Fasher people, they should suffer by the RSF. And this is what is going on. Because when the Fasher put in under the siege, everybody knows that this is not just, by the capacity of the RSF. Everybody knows it is the capacity of the countries those produce the oil and gas. It is bigger resource, health of the resource. They are using sophisticated arms. They are using sophisticated drones. They are using, and everybody is seeing under the scene. Nothing is hidden. But unfortunately, international community kept silent, and that is why this atrocity or this suffers coming to the children of the fascists.
On the war and the national crisis, who bears the greatest responsibility of the atrocities against civilians and the accumulated crisis?
Definitely, RSF is the responsible of, because even the RSF, before I go to the deeper in the war, RSF as the tool of the previous government of the Islamists. It was, the fingers, those they use it for committing the genocide against people of Darfur in 2003. The RSF activities against humanity were going on even before this war. They killed many people, and also they distracted many, camps, the IDPs camps.
How do you see Sudan after 1 year if the conflict persists?
We hope not happen that one. We hope that the end of this war should be today or tomorrow. This is our own hope. But whenever the war continues, the situation will be there and jeopardized humanitarianly and even the social or even political wise. And that's why I don't estimate anything that if this war continues, because my estimations came even the time before the war and the time that, pre-war time. I said my own, and I estimated that time. I said that this war, if occur, the situation in Darfur or in Sudan, it will not be the same situation that the politicians like at that time.
Tunisian judicial authorities say at least 40 migrants from sub-Saharan Africa seeking to reach Europe have died in a boat accident. The vessel capsized near the coastal city of Mahdia, located 15 miles from the Italian island of Lampedusa. Naval units that arrived on the scene rescued around